You know what's strange about a will? Most people think it's about dying. It's not. A will is the last conversation you ever have with the people you love. The problem is, most people fill it with the wrong things. I've buried 2 wives. I've stood at more funerals than I care to count. I've seen wills thicker than a city phone book, full of instructions about furniture and dishes and who gets what. But I've never seen a child cry over a dining table. They cry because their father never said what truly mattered while he was alive. So listen carefully. I'm not a lawyer. I fix shoes for a living. This isn't legal advice. This is life advice. There are things you should never save for your will. Because if you're saving them for the end, you've already waited too long. First, never leave an apology in your will. Don't die with "I'm sorry" still sitting in your chest. I knew 2 brothers who didn't speak for almost 50 years over a car. One car, pride turned it into a wall between them. When one of them finally wrote an apology, he put it in his will. By the time the other brother read those words, the man who wrote them was already buried. An apology from the grave doesn't heal, it echoes. If you owe someone an apology, don't polish it, don't rehearse it for months. Just say, "I've been thinking, and I'm sorry." That's it. Those simple words are lighter when spoken now. The longer you hold them, the heavier they become. Second, never use your will to explain why you loved one child more than another. You may think they don't notice. They do. Children always know where they stood, even if nobody said it out loud. The one who felt like they got less already carries that suspicion. When you confirm it in writing, with signatures and stamps, you turn a feeling into proof. You don't have to love your children the same way. No parent does. But each one should feel like they received enough. Enough time, enough attention, enough reassurance. Call them one by one, not a group message. Ask them how they're really doing, and then be quiet long enough to hear the answer. Third, don't put conditions on your love from beyond the grave. I leave this money if I leave the house, only if you're gone. You don't get to control people anymore. Money tied to obedience is not love, it's leverage. Trust them, even if they make mistakes. Especially if they make mistakes. You cannot protect someone from being human. Let what you leave behind say, "I believed in you," not "you still answer to me." Fourth, don't use your will to finally tell your side of an old family story. Memory changes, grief edits, pride rewrites. If something happened 30 years ago and it still burns in you, don't wait until you're gone to release your version like a final verdict. When you're dead, there's no conversation, there's no reply, only your voice hanging in the air with nobody able to answer it. If something needs to be said, sit at a table while everyone is still breathing. It may be messy, it may be loud, but at least it's alive. Fifth, never leave behind guilt disguised as love. Some parents keep a secret scoreboard in their minds. Every sacrifice, every bill paid, every long drive to practice. And at the end, they want it acknowledged. They want it written somewhere permanent. But real sacrifice doesn't ask for applause. If you did something for someone and you kept track of it, it wasn't a gift. It was an investment, expecting returns. Love doesn't hand out receipts. Do what you do for the people you love and let it go. The moment you give it, it belongs to them. Sixth, don't let your will be the place where secrets explode. If there's a truth that will shatter the people you leave behind, don't deliver it through a lawyer's office. Don't let your confession arrive when you're not there to answer questions. Secrets rot quietly, and when they finally surface without you there to absorb the pain, the damage spreads further than you imagine. I'm not saying tell everyone everything, but if something will hurt them deeply one day, give them the dignity of hearing it from your mouth, not from paper. Seventh, don't spend 12 paragraphs describing your funeral and 0 sentences describing your life. People argue about coffin, wood, and flower colors like it matters. It doesn't. What matters is whether the people you love know what your life meant to you, what you're proud of, what you regret, what you learned the hard way. Write a letter while you're alive. Hide it in a coat pocket. Leave it in a book. Put it somewhere they'll stumble upon it one ordinary day. Those words will mean more than any piece of property ever could. And finally, Dan T. Wright, I love you in your will, if you never said it out loud. It doesn't carry the same weight on paper. Love needs breath behind it. It needs a voice. It needs eye contact. It needs that small pause before the words come out. I wasn't a perfect man. I worked too much. I stayed silent when I should have spoken. There were years when I stood in the same room as my children, but my mind was miles away. The one thing I learned before it was too late was to say those words. I love you. Say them even after arguments, especially after arguments. Arguments are weather. Love is climate. Weather changes. Climate stays. Right now, somewhere in your life, there is someone who needs to hear it again. Not in a message. Not with an emoji. With your voice. Because when everything else is gone, the house, the money, the documents, what remains are voices. The sound of someone saying your name with warmth. The memory of being seen. A will distributes belongings. Your voice distributes love. And someday, whether it's far away or closer than you think, there won't be time anymore. But today there is. So Dan T, say the important things for a document that gets opened after you re-gone. Say them while your mouth still works. Say them while their ears still work. Say them now.